Opening rock was thrown as a fairly tight center guard, and Stewart immediately went around it with his first rock of the end with the hammer on the draw to the button. The Dunbar team did pretty darn well. They bit the forefoot, in fact, more than a bite, a good chunk of the forefoot, but Stewart absolutely covered the pinhole to win the hammer. This start of the game this way, Kelly, that draw to the button has become an incredibly important part of the game, hasn't it?
Oh, for sure. That's just gives you the great start. You get a good chance to either blank or get your deuce, and it's big in a game. And just like I said, they may be playing a little bit cautious to start with, but they're not. They're playing, they're going right after each other. So
you'll quickly learn as a broadcaster, Kelly, that anything you say is going to happen generally does not happen. So.
Anyway, that's been 3 really good shots here, and just gonna put one down on top of the red one.
Jeff Trimble. Still got a good deal of a tuck delivery for a guy, and I can't say an older guy because it'll come back to haunt. People seem to be listening to what we're saying.
Well, yeah, that's right, exactly. He's not that old.
He's not that old. No. He's just a year or two older than some of the other guys on
that's
the team,
right.
Is the way we'll phrase it. But he does throw that right in on top, and this is going to be an interesting end right from the outset.
It is, that's for sure.
Just back 4.
So Cale just wants to kind of throw one down just to kind of move the rocks around a little bit, maybe move that yellow one just behind the tee line.
Top 4. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
This is the second Kyle Sambrook.
Here. Yep. Okay, top 4. T-line.
Listed as their 5th is Lorne Sambrook. But I don't think he has any intention of being in the game. I see him just across the way from us, sitting in the stands right at the end of the sheet.
Yes, he is. Played third for Murray Warren for quite a few years. Really good curler himself.
So he'll be giving them some advice, watching what's going on, if he sees some tendencies that he thinks may need to think about and that sort of thing.
Yep. Well, Austin Musters just throwing a hit at this red rock.
Whoa, whoa, yep, yep.
He's going to get a little inside, flop over, kills both. Doesn't kill that red, but he certainly pushes it out of the way. And
no, but he sure left it in a pretty good spot.
Those 3 clustered together. The one peeks out a little bit. You've been here watching a bit, Kelly. You've seen the amount of swing in the ice and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we were here both days so far, and yeah, it's big swing, and you really have to be mindful of your weights for say back line, hack weight, and bumper weight, because it does a totally different thing.
So that's Sambrook. Kills 1, 2 red sitting in the wings.
But Jeff's going to just play a hit and roll into the center.
Again, Austin Mustard, an in-turn hit. Looking for that little hit and roll to the center line. But over curls, and that's something the teams learn each game, isn't it? They just have to learn just what that swing is going to do way out there.
Exactly, that's right. Well, it's just a little weight sensitive, and if you're just down a little bit, it will cut on you, and it's hard to hold with the brushes.
So the left-hander, Shane McGranahan.
Yep, yep, yep. Hard. Whoa. Yep, yep. Hard. No roll, no roll, no roll. Okay, that boy.
Well, he rolled inside. It shows a little bit. There's probably 3/4 open.
Bob.
Jeff Stewart's going to make a play on it.
Stewart's got last rock, so rolling wide for second shot is
It's ideal.
ideal shot.
Yeah. So there won't be a double that's the top one's covered up. So.
Yep.
So it looks like it's over curling a bit. He's going to make contact with his own and remove it, roll out. Still bites, but not a good result.
No, just a little down in weight, and amazing how an end can change. Eh?
So Dunbar has a quick look,
I like normal.
determines that the yellow rock is second shot, so he'd be quite content to hit this on the nose. He'd be quite content to hit and roll right to the button.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep, yep. Hard. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa.
That's a pretty good shot right there.
Same weight.
So Eric Zammercut is going to play a quiet little top, try and get a little roll behind that center guard.
A little more.
The end has changed from where it looked a few moments ago like Stewart could be looking at a couple to now he's really going to have to scramble to come out of it with one.
Yes, I've noticed that in a few games throughout the week too. One shot just changes the end completely. Well, he removed the rock. I don't think he got underneath, but... And I guess with Cale's shot here, if he hits and sticks there, Jeff's probably going to have to play a double, I would think, because he can't get shot rock off of that. So
The earlier game today, Jeff was playing on the sheet next to our broadcast game, and I did see him at one point play a hit on what to me looked like a pretty near flat double kill. And a good 6 feet across from each other, and he made the double with no problem. Ability to throw weight, obviously number one. Ability to throw weight straight, number two, but also liveliness of ice and rocks.
Oh, exactly. That's right.
Yep,
Yeah.
hard.
Jeff can throw them up there with anybody.
Hard. Hard.
So Cale Dunbar with his opening rock of this
Hard.
end.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
But he does leave Stewart a couple, possibly even a triple here.
Yeah, probably the hit and roll would be the best shot behind the center guard.
Nothing else there. Only the draw, but that's, yep.
Like, I don't know I don't think you're shot if you roll here.
Yeah.
Well, the ice he's taking, he's definitely not throwing a big weight hit.
No, it'll be kind of a control weight. Different teams have different weights for control, but
Doesn't matter so much what the word is as the consistency.
it's the consistency of it. That's
player
right.
to player.
Yeah.
So it is the in-turn hit by Jeff Stewart.
Yep, yep, straight hard.
Makes that hit and roll. Going to roll wide open here in the left-hand side.
Yeah, it's tough to call too. Like he probably had that about the hog line, but just to anticipate the break at the right time, it's
It's normal. Try and roll it
It's
to the
tough
back of the
sometimes.
forefoot. Or nose is fine.
Well, as we watch this next shot from Cale Dunbar, his last shot, I'm going to remark on the game right beside them on sheet D, where we've got a young and a pretty young team from Verdun playing each other, the Jay Kennard team, playing Jace Freeman's team. Of course, Jace is not here. Jace is in Timmins, Ontario, where he has qualified for the playoff round at the U18 championship. Both Jace Freeman and on the women's side, Grace Beaudry have qualified for playoffs with 4 wins, 2 loss records.
Just up a tit, Jay.
I think Jay's finished second in his pool.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jeff Stewart playing 3 Will Jeff normally play a hit in this situation, or will he draw?
I think, like sometimes you might draw, but I think this is probably playing a hit on that, and I think it's probably the easiest shot. You're facing 3, and I think if you throw that bumper weight, you'll be fine.
Well, the last shot of this opening end, Jeff Stewart, underway, facing 3, will make a nice square nose contact for a single point. It is 1-0 Stewart over Dunbar. After one end at the Neepawa Yellowhead Center, we will be back with the second end in just a moment. Today's sponsor, Sunrise Credit Union. Building a brighter future together.
Eat.
Meet.
Stay.
Canad Inn's destination centers are your home for hospitality, with 10 locations in Manitoba and 1 in North Dakota, featuring the finest in accommodations, food and beverage, entertainment, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more. For the best service and best value, your only stop is Canad Inns. Call today at 1-888-33-CANAD or visit us right now at canadinns.com.
Where can you find handmade pizza, classic burgers, scrumptious salads, the finest Manitoba-sourced fried chicken, and so much more? Chicken Chef, bring your appetite. We'll take care of the rest.
Curl Manitoba is proudly sponsored by Manitoba Pork, locally grown, globally preferred. Well, we're back in the Yellowhead Center. Jeff Stewart hit facing 3 for a single point. We have to confess to you folks that we're a little distracted by that game right beside that I referenced. There appear to be as many as 5 Yellowstones in the 4-foot circle, along with 2 or 3 red ones. So these young men have decided to get at it right in the first end.
They sure have.
Jace Freeman, as I said, is not here. Thomas McGilvery has moved up to skip that team. Aaron McDonnell has moved up from lead to play third. And Brooks Freeman has slotted in the place of his brother Jace, but he's throwing first. So.
Sammy tight, go if you can, yep.
So back to our game.
Hard.
Stewart scores the single point, puts the rock on the center line. And the red stone, the Dunbar stone, attempt to go behind, not quite buried.
Yeah, it's kind of starting out like the first end did, but asking Jeff Tremble to make a play on this rock, a little tap and roll inside.
Not many backswings in this competition. In fact, I think he may be the only one.
You know, now you mention it, I think he is.
It's interesting, isn't it? That used to be standard. Everybody did it. Some more, some not so much, but always a backswing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now it's more on the leg strength and
You can probably play to just push it a little bit. Like just
in the rock, in the ice conditions of earlier years.
It was a lot heavier. Yeah, it was a lot harder to slide on.
That backswing really was an important part of.
And sliders weren't the material they are now.
Exactly.
Trumbull got a really good hit and roll to start the end off for the Stewart team.
Okay. Feet. Top 4. Whoa, Shane.
Chris Campbell with his second stone.
Sammy, yep.
Nicely past the guard, and it's from about that point 6 feet in over the hog line where it really starts to draw in.
Yeah.
So he taps that rock to the 4-foot. He'll be quite content with that rock this early in the end.
Yeah. What'd you do last end? Did you throw a draw? No.
Well, just to put a cap on the sheet beside, the last rock hit by Jay Kennard moved 3 Yellowstones and gave up a steal of 1 in the 4-foot. So that tells you the kind of a mess they were in.
Whoa, we're on the red.
So Stewart elected to go around the other side, but has over-curled to the red stone, the Dunbar stone.
And that leaves Cale probably a double here.
Double? Kind of like leaving this alone. Can we get here? No. Okay. Gotta try and roll it there, though, eh? Nose is alright. Okay, bump. Nose is good.
Not sure what the call is. I think they were trying to overroll just a little bit, leave that kind of set up that red-yellow combination there.
Bumper, just bumper. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Hard. Hard, Chris. Whoa. Shane.
So it's Kyle Sambrook.
That's fine.
Kind of in between. I think they were going for the overroll, and it just didn't quite curl up
I
enough.
think
But
just from the sound of the expression afterwards, I don't think it was a happy result. It's
No.
certainly not a really bad result.
no, but so it leaves Austin Mustard a open hit here with
I think you're going. Close. Curl. Curl. Hard curl. Good.
Stay weight. Here.
The game has become one of bumps and taps to a huge extent, hasn't it?
oh for sure the run back is
Run back is a key to.
yeah, and the good teams make it look so easy,
Whoa.
and it's not.
Shane.
Or it never used to be.
No,
Shane.
Kyle
Shane,
Sambrook
hard.
with an
Hard.
out-turn hit
Hard.
on the red.
Okay.
Just bangs it past.
yeah, it just didn't curl up quick enough and through the hole.
Eric, he's really got to spin this one.
So Jeff's got a pretty good opportunity here to get a steal.
Well, it's early in the end, but he can certainly try to build
Yeah.
a steal and,
Yeah,
if nothing else, aiming to a force. But right now, he's got things nicely set up both sides of the 4-foot circle.
Well, yeah.
If you want to go here, it's not easy to get here.
Yeah. Same line anyway. Yeah.
Well, I mentioned that Freeman stole one on the opening end to go up one in their game over Jay Kennard.
Pretty well
Tanner
same
Lott
shot.
is playing David Hamlin. That had a blank first end.
Yep.
Hayden Forrester is a 3 on the first against Tuffy Seguin from Burntwood, so that's a 3-0 lead. And Richard Montaigne trails Steen Sigurdsson, who gave up a 1 in the first as well. So all close games except for the Forrester one, the young team
Yep.
picking up that 3 to start.
Yep. Hard.
This is Eric Zammerkut looking at an attempted.
Whoa.
I'm not sure that was an attempted
Yeah.
rub and roll or not.
No, I don't know if that
It was a little heavy on a draw.
yeah.
Deal? Okay.
So this gives Shane McCranahan a chance to get a hit and roll or get the double.
Whoa. Chris.
He's throwing the big weight, so I think he's playing double all the way. Whatever he was doing, he got the wrong side.
Got the
of
wrong
it,
side, yes.
and has really left now. Stewart with a nice opportunity.
Yeah, everything is ducked in behind that one guard.
Same thing.
And now all stacked up on the one side of the center line.
Not much. Yeah.
Looks like a good 6 feet of ice, eh? They're taking for that shot.
Eric Zammerkut.
That's a little more, isn't it? A little more.
Curl only right now. Okay, line's close.
Gotta go.
Straight.
Yeah, that's
Straight. Okay, curl, 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 curl. Go, this distance. Yep, 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 yep. Good. Good.
So Zammercut with his second shot of the end, he puts that rock into the bite top 8 foot. As again left Dunbar and his team a hit opportunity.
Okay.
And it's Shane McGranahan. Little less weight on this one
Whoa, Chris.
for the left-hander. The
Whoa,
in-turn
whoa.
hit.
Yep, Chris. Chris. Hard, curl. Hard, hard.
But again, doesn't curl up quite enough, rolls, in fact, rolls right out of play.
Right out of play, yeah.
And again, the jam in behind that center guard.
So I think Jeff's just going to try and come down and just promote. Maybe he's up about 1.5 feet.
No, I'm saying you can get the nose to push it. Oh, yeah.
But even short, I guess, is still not horrible.
Nope.
Skip rocks to come now, so the Stewart team really does have a nice opportunity for a steal here, Kelly.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Short's not bad either.
Yeah, if he can throw about T-line weight and promote his yellow up about 1.5 feet, it'd be perfect.
Whoa. Close. Gotta curl a little bit.
Line's probably good.
Still gotta curl a little bit.
Line will be good.
Straight.
Straight.
And from about here is where the big curl begins, although he's maybe got a little weight to kind of run across it.
Because it's gonna get him behind.
Slides deep into the back 4.
Yeah, that's not ideal for Jeff. You'd be disappointed with that because that kind of lets Cale in there. If he pulls off the same shot that Jeff just did, he'd be laying one.
He let him off the hook, so to speak,
He
because
did.
he has shown him the path.
He did, yeah.
This draw, however, really weight sensitive, just down a little bit and he'll rub the rock
Oh, for
top
sure.
4 foot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a team throw. Skip has to do it right, but the sweepers have to be.
So it's Cale Dunbar in the hack. Sweepers on the left of your screen. Chris Campbell on the right. Kyle Sambrook.
T-line, boys. Line's tight. Line's good. Line's good.
The sweepers are saying that the weight's pretty close. So.
Yep, hard line, hard line. Hard line.
And here's the curl point. He's not going to get past the one in the top of the 4 foot.
And he promotes the yellow one up a little bit. And so if Jeff Stewart can hit that red one on the nose and just push it by the back yellow,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Cale's in a world of hurt here.
Probably on the board.
Wow.
Does he play that or does he play a guard?
Looks like he's just playing a guard.
Just throw a little bigger spinner.
If he gets a guard foot 18 inches off the center line on the McMahon and Yates sign,
Yep.
all it leaves Dunbar is to promote that red one out at the right side.
Exactly. Well, they haven't maybe totally committed to this shot yet either.
Top yellow out when they're getting the back one. This very
Well, it's interesting there. Zammercut obviously saw something that Trimble and Stewart hadn't considered in their planning.
Yeah, well, with the guard, you're taking a chance that they don't
That's
make
a
a
tough
play on
shot.
the yellows on this side because if you can get an inside roll there, well,
He hasn't done anything
it'd have to be a
here
good
yet.
shot. He'd get triple,
Well, I know,
but
but it's-
Do you
It's
think the
probably
3
the
are
easiest,
lined up that he could make it? I think there's certainly room to get to that stone.
think he has to get
There's
inside,
a
doesn't he?
guard
Hey?
4 or 5
He's gotta
feet in
do
front,
this.
but
This, but I don't
probably
know if this
edge
would
on
ever
edge to
goes.
that
No.
Yellowstone.
That's
Like this has to go all the way over there.
yeah.
And it probably misses the back one if it goes all the way over there.
Me too. Yeah, that's what I think too.
Okay. Well, it's
Nope, they're going back to the original call.
And that's not a bad thing to happen, is it? To stop and think about the implications, and maybe in the end you say, what the heck?
Exactly.
You know,
That's right.
Let's let him try it. If he makes it, well, good for him, but odds are on our side.
Exactly.
So we'll see. It is Jeff Stewart's final stone of this second end. Stewart forced to a single with hammer in the first. Working on a steal here in the second.
Looks like it might be.
He's going to over curl. There. Try as I might, I find very little that I can say very positive about that shot.
Yeah. So it left the top up for one for sure.
About the only thing we could say is it took away the possibility of the triple kill.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
So Dunbar comes to the hack, and his only shot is a tap on the red stone.
Good, bit of room.
Cale Dunbar, final shot of this second end.
Line's good. Got a curl. Chris, gotta go.
Should start to make a swoop here now. Didn't curl enough.
He didn't get the curl he was looking for. It does leave a steal of 2. So Jeff Stewart and his Gladstone team go up 3-0. Over Cale Dunbar and his Brandon team after 2 ends here at Neepawa. We'll be back with the 2023 Viterra Championship in just a moment.
Today's sponsor, PharmaSave. Canada's community pharmacy is proud to support Canada's community game.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Asham Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Asham Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at asham.com.
You can win a pair of tickets for the 2023 Tim Hortons Briar in London or the 2023 BKT Tires and OK Tire Men's Worlds in Ottawa, plus $500. Or maybe equip your team with a set of 4 of Asham's new Ultra Force brushes. And at the same time, support the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame and Museum and Curl Manitoba's Curling for Life Endowment Fund. Raffle tickets are available now. 1 for $5, 4 for $10, 10 for $20. Buy online at fundingchange.ca/Curl Manitoba or scan the QR code on your screen right now.
Back in the Yellowhead Center. Neepawa, Manitoba, the 2023 Viterra Men's Curling Championship, where Jeff Stewart has just stolen a pair, built up a good steal, and Cale Dunbar in attempting to tap. Doesn't curl up quite enough, and as a result gives up a steal of 2, so the Stewart team from Gladstone leads Cale Dunbar from Brandon 3-0. Early in the game, down 3 is not a huge issue, but what does Dunbar have to be thinking?
Well, you know, come back with a deuce and give up a 1 and a deuce, and you're back in the game. So that's kind of the math that you have to kind of go to. And you know, with the amount of rocks that are in play and with the swinging ice, like getting back with a 3 isn't too big a deal.
There will be many 2s scored in the game.
Oh, for sure.
Just to put a cap on the earlier comment, folks, the Neepawa Curling Club Public Relations Department has been in full swing, sending us a reminder. And of course I knew, but forgot to mention, or maybe I didn't put 2 and 2 together in the right way, but that Grace Beaudry team does have 2 young women on it who are Neepawa folks. Cassidy Dundas plays third, Tessa Terrick plays lead, and So kudos to the Neepawa curling program. They've got a couple of young people in a national championship, and the Tarek sisters actually did very well as well at the provincial juniors.
They sure did. You know, we're quite proud of them.
We did a little research. The three sisters, the first three sisters since Connie Laliberty and her two sisters, Christine and Janet Arnott, curled together in 1984 as the last three
time.
sisters. Three brothers you've already mentioned, Murray Warren and his brothers. And as far as I know, you have to go back to 1925 to find another set of three brothers, and that was Howard, Lionel, and Vic Wood. Now, I did not curl against Lionel and Vic.
Nor did I.
I can tell you, Kelly, that I curled against Howard Wood Sr.
Did you?
In one game in an MCA Bonspiel at one time. It was a rare privilege for a young guy and a university kid, myself, three buddies from university, in about 1972, 73.
Yeah.
And we played the legendary, and we were in awe because we were all, curling fans of first order. But we were arrogant enough as young people to think we wouldn't have any trouble beating the old gentleman.
How did that go?
Not well. Not well. He was in a string of 65 consecutive MCA Bonspiels, and nearing the end of that, playing with three men who knew how important it was to him, and they were willing to curl with him to keep his string alive. He threw first, called the game. And it's like you've heard about Wayne Gretzky, seeing the ice differently.
Yeah.
Howard Wood, at the age of about 84, saw the ice differently. And I and my young buddies, in our youthful arrogance, thought afterwards, he called shots that we didn't see. Yeah. And he could see them, and he could see within the limited ability of his team, because they were not a great team, but they were good enough. But he played them exceptionally well. He played their abilities with shots that we just didn't see. It was a wonderful experience, although I hated losing.
And not only that, like back then, the ice conditions were not what you see today. So like when reading the ice was quite an art back then. Like it was, sometimes it was against the turn even. And
very much.
Yeah, so it was quite an art.
So our game is on with not much going on, allowing us to ramble here and there through the curling world.
Well, actually, it's kind of maybe set up a little bit here for Cale. He's got a corner guard, and there's a rock at the back that he can draw to on the other side. So,
stay close. Just line. There. Yep.
So if he can get this one behind in front of the tee line.
Okay, we're by.
Looks like he's got great line. Ooh, got a little rub.
Go then. Yep.
You just heard that call. Okay, we're by, and they weren't, and that's this ice that curl as it dies.
Oh, for sure.
Will kill you more often than not.
I watched a game last draw, and it was whoa, whoa, whoa. The line was good, and it had about 2 feet to go, and it rubbed off one that was in the house. It was a perfect shot if they would have swapped a little bit, but just didn't get the brooms down in time.
So now we see the Zammer cut with the run through, doesn't make it, leaves that red stone open on the side.
But he opens it up and got the job done.
Now, Cale Dunbar will have played Jeff Stewart enough to know of Jeff's ability to throw the big weight hit. If he gets too deep in toward that yellow, there's a double kill here.
For sure.
And Jeff won't hesitate at all to give it a whirl.
No, he won't. Even a hit and roll over to it and just kind of group them a little bit closer. It's
T-line, guys.
Get it on the next shot.
Not heavy, I don't think. Got a curl. Have a look. 14-2. Whoa.
Just wants to be just short of the tee line.
Actually, Shane looks like he's got a good shot here.
Just across the tee line.
Yeah, that's pretty flat. Well,
is it enough to tempt Jeff with the hit and roll?
I guess it's makeable, but
just a roll, though. It's just a roll.
I think what he wants to do is just get over closer to that red rock.
No, curl. It's all curl.
It's Zammercut with an out-turn hit. Needs to get across the center of this rock, roll center side, but does not. Just still having a little trouble combining weight and ice.
Yeah.
Same this way. You want to throw a guard? Same this way.
Yeah, that's two hits on the wrong side of the rock. So either the ice is maybe not quite right, or maybe just pushing it out a little bit.
I thought a pinch more.
Line's good. Easy.
Second draw of the end from third man McGranahan.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
He looks like he's going to be pretty close to the tee line. Those are two pretty good shots by Shane.
Now the even flatter pair of rocks.
Yeah.
Right in the nose. Okay.
So I think I heard him say right on the nose, maybe hoping that trade shots there and then set up
Get
the
a little
double.
bit higher for the double, yeah.
Skip rocks to come here in the third end. Dunbar and his Brandon team lie to. House spread, both sides of the 8-foot circle.
Clean.
He too throws the out turn at it, coming from the outside in.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Girl.
And he does get that nose hit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he called, right in the nose. So one more nose hit, the angle gets pretty good for the double.
Just control, eh? Where the beat?
And Cale says right on the beak, suggesting that he's willing to give Jeff the opportunity to try that double.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep, yep, yep. Whoa. Whoa, Chris.
Must be close, they're on and off.
Just a little roll outside.
And actually that was the way to roll to make it just a little bit tougher. If he didn't have much room to play with there either.
No, he did not. No. So I don't think there's any doubt he's going to give it a try.
Yep.
Try and just roll over there beside it. Just behind it or something. Wheel.
Final shot of the third end for Jeff Stewart. Cale Dunbar has last rock. Stewart looking at a pair of reds. Ring split.
Yep.
Trying to get across the face of this target stone and roll. He didn't go full bore for the double after all. He got a nice roll though.
Nice roll, yeah. That was a pretty tough double.
Pretty good. Yeah.
But do these guys not have any fun anymore, Kelly?
Just a draw. No, their shot. We just got to tap them just a little bit. So I got to be, yeah, like I'm just throwing to it and you guys are going to sweep it to move it 3 inches. We got to tap 3 inches.
So our best color commentators, again, are the guys on the ice. You heard him say just a draw, enough weight to tap that yellow back a few inches.
Line's tight. Yep, hard line. Hard line.
So it is a draw for a possible 2. But the desperation call for sweeping looks like it's going to
Looks
overcurl.
like it's going to overcurl and steal a 1 here.
No, you're out of room. You're in room.
Not so much over curl as just never did have the weight that it needed. And so Jeff Stewart gets away with that one. A single point steal. Stewart of Gladstone up 4-zip over Dunbar and his Brandon team. After 3, we'll be back with the 4th in just a moment.
We hope you're enjoying this Manitoba Championship Curling, brought to you by Seagram's 83, Manitoba's favorite Canadian whiskey.
At McMunn & Yates, we've always believed that good neighbors make for better communities. McMunn & Yates has everything you need for your next project, right at your fingertips. And McMunnandYates.com will always be there, ready to help.
You work hard to keep it all together. And when you need a little help, we're there. At PharmaSave, we see you.
Live well with PharmaSave.
We're back in the arena here in Neepawa, the 2023 Viterra Championship. For the second end in a row, Cale Dunbar has had an opportunity, hasn't been able to quite get the shot he wants. The second end, his draw tap attempt didn't curl up quite enough. The third end, his draw tap attempt curled up a little too much. So he'll be thinking about those two the next time he has to make the call, and of course that can play with a guy's mind, can't it, Kelly?
Yeah, he'll be really disappointed with that last one because they played a good end, and that should have been a result in 2, but it does happen.
More often than not, to my team than by my team, I'll grant that. So while we watch these opening ends, Kelly, I want to chat a little bit about, well, first of all, last night's opening ceremony when you and 4 others of your let's say a little more senior colleagues here at the Neepawa Curling Club, all honorary life members of the Neepawa Club, were recognized at the opening ceremony. That must feel good.
Well, it does. I guess I was on the committee for the Viterras, and they were discussing it, and I was at it, and so I kind of knew that it was going to happen. But it is nice to recognize, the people that have put in the work, and like there was a rink built here and whatnot, and all those guys participated in it, and there's been a lot of work over the years just doing anything, and it's nice to be recognized for that.
And you're going to have to help me. I remember the names of Jack Follows, Weldon Newton, Bernie Ross, and Marshall Thompson, and yourself. And anytime an individual is honored by his local group or his or her local group for service to that group, that's a very special acknowledgement. Another special acknowledgement, Kelly, your 2011 team is being honored by the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame this upcoming spring at a May 7th banquet. How did you feel when you got that phone call?
We were kind of over the moon. We all called each other and got the news, and we're just so proud and so honored that to be thought of in that way, and to be with all the good teams that Manitoba's had over the years and whatnot, to be in the hall with them. It's just a special thing.
Well, and yours was one of the good teams. If I'm not mistaken, over a 4-year period, 7 championship final games, Manitoba, Canadian, and World.
Yeah, we lost a world championship that I was a little bit bitter about to start with, but when you look back at it, the granddaughter said that you won silver, and looking back on it, it's just an awesome deal, and it's probably a game we should have won, but that's the way that went, and we lost the final of another Canadian championship in Yellowknife. So yeah, we could have done it again.
So this is the kind of question a reporter will ask a guy and never know really how it's going to get answered. How good was that team? Yourself, Peter Prokopowicz, Doug Armour, Bob Scales?
Well, it was an unbelievable team, really. Played with a lot of different teams in seniors and whatnot, and nothing really seemed to spark. Like we won, but nothing big. And that team, I don't know, that particular year, it started off that we lost an extra end game to Brian Fowler, and then I think we reeled off a bunch of wins. We won that Bonspiel, we won the Canadians with one loss, and I think the provincials with no losses. So it was just one of those things that was just hard to put into words why it would work, but it did.
The individual guy, a successful team is going to be two important things. One is compatibility of the players. They got to get along well, but it's also obviously competence, ability on the ice. Doug Armour was famous for throwing an out-turn hit up the 8-foot line, but how good was Doug Armour?
Doug Armour is probably one of the best. Well, he's the best curler I ever played with, and Doug was famous for his out-turn, but I tell you, he got pretty good at his interns too. So. And what he knew about the game and what he watched, and he had a real good handle on the game and helped me tremendously. And all four guys are the same way, like skips in their own ranks and whatnot, which is kind of amazing that four skips could get along, to play the way we did. But everybody handled the position the way they should have, and we had pretty good success. And we're still friends. We've actually always been friends. So it's quite a story.
Pretty good success is a pretty understated way of describing it. So here we have, and in that conversation, wouldn't you know, something's happened that we're just not 100% sure. But we've got the umpire, Dale McEwen, out visiting with the team at their request, and they're sorting things out. Here we go.
I didn't see it at all, so I'm out of the...
So this is the replay. We're going to come off this red stone at the side to the red stone on the center line. Then what happens?
Oh, a double kiss then. So the red rock hit the boards. It was actually dead, but it wasn't stopped, and it touched that yellow rock. So,
and of course the question is, did it touch it or did it cross it? So in the end, they've left the yellow rock biting at the back.
Yeah.
And it is Kyle Sambrook with the in-turn draw.
Everything you got. Roll it.
We've got a biter up in the top corner. Not sure which of the two biters is going to be shot stone. A yellow rock in the back 8 foot, just below the edge of the screen. You can see it in that image.
Just a little late on that draw attempt, and
A little hit and roll in the red.
So Kelly, obviously when I'm in Neepawa, Manitoba, I'm going to be saying that the Neepawa team of Kelly Robertson is the star attraction at the Hall of Fame banquet. But if I went down the road to Minnedosa, you know that I'd be saying that Ray Orr's Masters team is going to be the star attraction. You're really part of a pretty respected and respectable group of Western Manitoba champion teams.
Oh, for sure. Like the Minnedosa guys, they had an heck of a run. I think that was in 2009, and they won the Canadian Masters. And no, hats off to them too.
Doug Armour, your teammate, also being inducted twice on the same evening, and that's a nice accomplishment with a Masters team that won in, I think, 2005. That team included the late Frank Goods, who we both knew and respected as a competitor.
Yeah, Frank was a great guy, and one of those great players, you know. Always liked Frank, flat-foot delivery, and just a gentleman on the ice.
So this is McGranahan facing 3 yellow Stewart stones, looking at a draw behind a reasonably tight center guard, but he's going to go deep.
Like a little deep, yeah. Yeah, not what they were looking for there. Looks like they might be still shot rock the way.
It looks as if, yeah, and there's the indication from Jeff Stewart. Then, of course, the other team that will be included is Joyce McDougall's women's champion team, the 2011, I believe, women's champion team, the same year that you won the Canadian men's, and also a Martin Bailey Masters team from 2004 from the Heather Curling Club. So a real solid group of older teams, but accomplished champion teams for the Hall of Fame banquet on May 7th at the Brandon Victoria Inn.
Not bad.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Curl. Yep, curl, 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 curl.
Kelly, I know in your earlier days you were a pretty decent sweeper, but do you not marvel at what these guys do with the brushes these days?
Oh, for sure. It's amazing how the good teams, how they can maneuver the rock. It's fantastic, actually. But you know, they work at it too. They're in shape. They're a lot of weight training and whatnot, and they know what they're doing.
Light's good. Got room.
So this is McGranahan.
Stay close.
Yeah, this rock's a long ways out. It just
slides across. He does make the corner contact, but rubs it back onto that red. Probably didn't move it all that far, so that red may still be beating the two that are biting on the 12-foot. But he's looking at a bit of difficulty here if Stewart can run that red and rub the yellow on the way past.
Yeah, and I think it's open enough to do that. There is a guard just to the side of that, but I don't think that's in his way. This is one of these ice shots here that your weight has to be perfect. You know, it looks like an easy enough shot just the way it is right now, but you're down a little bit in weight, and you could clip the guard here. So you got to be careful.
By the same token, you can also rub the edge of the red target stone as McGranahan did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it is behind the tee line, and Stewart, if he does make the shot, will also be behind the tee line, but at this stage, worth the effort.
Yes.
First of skip stones here on the fourth end.
Close. Close. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
He just got a good shot here.
Wrong one. Okay.
Near perfect, lies 4.
So I think Cale's just going to play a quiet little tap, get in behind those corner guards.
If he gets that little roll, he will push his yellow rock back onto the red in the back of the 12-foot, but he really at this stage can't worry about that rock.
At this point, that's exactly right.
He's going to throw back line. Give me the 3. Okay. Let's make one here. Okay. Yeah, so I'm thinking 70 for back line. Same as my draw to the button then.
First of Dunbar's stones on this end.
Yep. Where? Back. Whoa.
Sweepers haven't.
Sammy. Gotta go.
Trying to get it to curl.
Well, you got a little bit of an inside roll, but I'm pretty sure Jeff can get at that.
Rig was okay, eh?
Norm? Get into almost like jamming it here.
He's got to be a little cautious on this one. He can get past the center line guard to that red stone, but
I think he's going to up his weight here.
This
He's got to
never-
pick it through the hole.
Shouldn't there.
Leaving Dunbar a draw
A
facing
draw for
three.
you.
Yeah, Peel.
Yeah, with a 4-point lead, you don't have to get too cute here. It's just
Yeah, you got to
eliminate
keep
the
it
red.
from that. You got to keep it from that guard because it could just easily roll into the forefoot. Peel, yep.
Well, it's underway. It's Jeff Stewart's last stone of this end, trying to pick the rock out of the 4-foot circle.
Hard curl.
Trying to make it curl. I don't know. He slipped it by.
He did slip it by. So he's left Dunbar the opportunity for a draw for two. Big break given back now to the Dunbar team, who's given away a couple. Looking across the sheets, Chase Freeman's team now leads 5-zip over Jay Kennard. Hayden Forrester is a 9-point lead, 9-0 over Tuffy Sagan. Tanner Lott leads David Hamlin 4-2. Cale Dunbar's final stone of the end. Needs to be 8-foot circle.
Line's good. You got the
Sweepers
red.
on it. Got the backing of the red, he says.
You got the red. Keep on it. Stay on it.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be fine.
Steen Sigurdsson leads Richard Montaigne 4-2. So Dunbar puts his rock in the 4-foot circle, grabs a very important 2 to trail 4-2 to Jeff Stewart going to the 5th end. We'll be back with that in just a moment.
Thank you for joining us for this Manitoba Championship draw, brought to you by Seagram's VO. Masterfully blended, distinctly Canadian.
At Viterra, we believe in the power of connection. Our world-leading agriculture network connects producers and consumers to supply top-quality food ingredients each and every day. Our team takes great pride in working closely with farmers to help feed the world. It's something we've been doing for over 100 years. And as an industry leader, we're dedicated to playing a critical role in meeting the needs of a growing world. Because together, we're stronger and achieve more.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
It is the 2023 Manitoba Men's Curling Championship, the Viterra Championship. Our game features two relatively local Westman teams, Jeff Stewart and his Gladstone team, Cale Dunbar and his team from Brandon. Stewart jumped out to a 4-point lead with a single, then a steal of 2 and a steal of 1 on misses by Dunbar. He did Dunbar a favor on the 4th end, giving back a miss on an attempted pick, trying to take a rock out of the 4-foot tight to a guard. Missed that shot. Dunbar draws to the 4-foot for 2, so it is 4-2 playing here in the 5th end. Dunbar set up the center guard.
And no tick rule come into play there, so that rock leaves and the rock goes back.
First time in the games that I've sat in on here at the Neepawa Yellowhead Center, the first time I've seen that rule need to be enforced.
I haven't. I've watched a few games too, and I haven't seen anything either.
Thoughts on that? On just the whole principle?
Well, like I guess there's good and there's bad about it, but I think overall the guys are happy with it. It does create more rocks in play, like when you get down to the final ends and you get 2 rocks on the line. Like it creates a lot of havoc for for the guy with last rock if
We're in.
if you need a couple of points.
Okay, line's tight. Sammy.
Top 8.
Well, for the first time, as we've seen, that attempt to go around it did move the guard off the center line. It got placed back, so So now Cale Dunbar has 2 rocks in play, and Stewart needs to get his first one in play.
Yeah, I think if you're scoring the game, I think Jeff Tremble, that's about the only shot that he's missed so far. He's had really good control of his weight, and so I suspect this one will be pretty close to what he wants.
A little earlier. Okay. Line's good this time. Whoa, whoa. Line's good. Got a curl. Curl.
So from about this point is where it will begin to curl, and it does, although he doesn't get it quite to the nose of it. A little too much weight.
Yeah, just a bit, but still a pretty good shot.
Just bump. Close.
Yep, yep.
Kyle Sambrook,
Hard, Shane, hard.
an in-turn bump, wants to play past that guard, get a little roll off the rock, top 8 foot, and does.
Yeah,
Beauty.
you got a good roll there. So I think Jeff's going to probably make a play on that front one, run it back.
He looks around to count the rocks just to make sure he's
Just
not
to make
breaking
sure,
the
yeah.
rule.
Yeah, 6th rock.
Yep.
Austin Mustard and Eric Zammer cut down to their shirt sleeves.
He made contact with the top one, but he moved it away from under the guard. But
yeah, he's simplified the end a little bit.
A little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Perhaps, but has left that center guard for Dunbar to play with.
Yeah.
But once again, you can see they're wanting to over curl at the center line. There's a good 6.5 feet of ice they're taking.
Hard line. Weight's good. Hard line. Gotta go to your 5. Hard. No.
And that wasn't enough ice.
Okay, that's all right. It's all right.
Probably just a little bit light. Maybe that's
Just,
yeah.
He wasn't going to get to the 4 foot.
No.
Although these are big, strong lads, they might have been able to sweep it there.
But he did poke the guard in front of the red rock, so I think Jeff Stewart's making a play on the front one back, running it back.
This time, however, running his own stone.
That's a great shot.
That's how you save an end when it's gone a little awry on you. Because he does leave his own rock. It's not buried.
No, but he definitely got him out of trouble.
And that forces the initiative, he takes the initiative away from Cale Dunbar. The left-hander, he's probably got a little more accessibility to this shot.
Sammy. Yep. Hard. Hard.
The sweeping hard, I think it's on the front.
Chris, throw it off.
Did you ever play a significant amount of time with a left-hander throwing in front of you?
I played with Jim Horn from Brandon for
Of course you did.
quite a few years.
Is there a difference?
Well, yeah, I think there I never minded playing like with Jim playing third. We actually had some pretty good success too, and like as you say, like the interns will draw more with the left-hander than somebody's out turns. So I think it's a bit of an advantage actually.
to have that one guy on the
Yes.
team coming at it in a little different direction.
Yeah.
One of the things we talked about in our broadcast of the Steve Irwin game, Steve with Travis, a left-hander throwing in front of him, it seemed to me to be an advantage to Steve
for,
as a
for
skip.
him that he could ice himself off of that, yeah.
So Dunbar faces a couple of yellow stones. The
Here? Okay.
attempted tap past the guard, failed, pushed it into the rings.
Chris. Whoa. Curl. Hard, Chris. Hard.
Wants to get to the center line side of this.
Pretty much a nose hit.
Safety hazards.
Jeff, he's kind of happy. Jeff Stewart's kind of happy to play this kind of end with a 2-point lead and whatnot.
I don't know.
One good corner guard and
Nose isn't quite in. If you roll an inch, it is.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. You in then?
I think they're just talking about a nose hit if it's going to be in the house or not.
Do that with Peel. Peel.
So with the big weight, the peel weight, he's looking very much at a hit and roll right over to
Right
his
over,
yellow.
yeah.
Yep. Hard.
A little too far and knocks his own right out of the rings. Curled a little too much.
Just flop in there. I'll probably be firm bump. Nose isn't terrible because they may nose and they're probably just biting maybe.
So we're down to skip stones here in the fifth end. Dunbar looking at a little hit and roll behind that guard.
Yeah, I think he's just calling for bumper weight.
He'd be real happy to force Stewart to take a single point here in the fifth. And go
Yes,
to
he
the
would,
break
and come back with a deuce. Yeah.
Right to it. Whoa.
and he does get that little run under.
That was a nice touch shot. I think that's the weight he was maybe looking for back a couple ends ago when he had that chance for two.
So Stewart is now going to try to tuck one of his own behind the two reds. And we jump over to the sheet beside where I can tell you that the Jace Freeman team, skipped by Thomas McGilvery, has jumped out to a 5-point lead playing the fifth end. And to add another 5 to the story, Jay Kennard is about to throw a free draw, an open draw, to the rings for a 5 to tie the game. McGilvery attempting a double kill, just ticked one rock but left it in the rings. So here's Jeff Stewart's draw.
Really nice. On its own.
Is he going to slide deep?
Oh,
Yeah, he's kind of left Cale Dunbar a shot to freeze down and force Jeff to have to take one.
Right on top.
So Kennard's draw is going to be there for a 5 to tie the game, 5-5 at the fifth end break. David Hamlin has an open hit in the forefoot for a 2 to tie. Tuffy Seguin scored a point in the fifth end, trails 9-1.
Line's tight. Hard line.
Steen Sigurdsson leads Richard Montaigne 5-2. David Hamlin makes his hit for a deuce, tie that game after 5.
Good, guys.
Cale Dunbar's draw comes to the hog line.
Hard, come on. Hard, guys.
He's going to overcurl and rub his red, but he gets the nice roll.
Yeah, it was close to being perfect. It's still a tough shot to get to, but it's possible to tap that back, I think.
Well, with the red in the top 12 foot having been rubbed just that little bit,
it gives him the opportunity to get to two.
That line to get to the red, he'd have to roll under the reds and push the red, the shot was just delivered.
Yeah.
Back past. But worth the gamble, is it not?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Yeah.
There's about 3 or 4 things that can go right for Stewart to score at least a 1, possibly the 2, and only one thing that could go wrong. And
I suspect Jeff Stewart will be pretty close in this shot.
So, because I wasn't watching real close, will he be playing to cross the face of it and push it back straight back, or will he be playing to tap it angle ways out across the tee line?
No, I think he's tried to overcurl.
Well, we'll see, because the last rock of the 5th end is underway. It is Jeff Stewart's out-turn tap.
Well, they're hard on the sweep here.
By the guard, by the rock in the 12 foot, and straight back past that rock. That is a wonderful touch shot.
How's that for a shot?
For a deuce, Jeff Stewart gets his 2 back with a wonderful shot. 6-2 lead after 5. We will be back with the second half of the game after the 5th end break.
You can support your curling club or the curling club in your community by buying tickets now in Curl Manitoba's online 50/50. After you win the big prize in the March 31st draw, 100% of the proceeds will be dispersed to the curling clubs of Manitoba for their use as needed. All you have to do is be sure to click the button to assign your ticket purchase to the curling club you wish to support. To purchase your curling club's 50/50 tickets, go online to fundingchange.ca/Curl Manitoba or scan the QR code on your screen now.
It means coming together, helping one another, being there, showing support. That's community. Getting together with your chums you want to curl with.
It's important to volunteer, help out as much as we can.
I love curling.
I love curling.
RME, proud sponsor of Curl Manitoba and the Scotties Women's Provincials. With 10 locations in Manitoba, RME is your preferred Case IH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Curl Manitoba is proudly sponsored by Manitoba Pork, locally grown, globally preferred.
Why not? Just watch. Why not? Keep scrolling, I slide. Why not?
As a broadcaster and Hall of Fame football player, I'm constantly in the lab of life. For 15 years, my friends at Knott Auto Corp have been pioneers as well.
Why not?
Introducing Winnipeg Car Lab, custom car wraps, graphics, and auto services. Winnipeg, why not get in the lab?
Curling in the small town part of Manitoba is really big in the winter. It's something for the community to do, and it really brings the community together. We can hold annual events like our bonspiels and our weekly nights. It's really something to do for everyone in the community. You can do it from any age.
Where can you find handmade delicious pizza, classic burgers, scrumptious salads, and the finest Manitoba-sourced pressure-cooked fried chicken? From small towns to big cities with 38 locations, Chicken Chef is comfort food you can count on. We're your made-in-Manitoba chicken choice, and pizza choice, and salad choice, and so much more. Chicken Chef, bring your appetite. We'll take care of the rest.
You work hard to keep it all together. And when you need a little help, we're there. At PharmaSave, we see you.
Live well with PharmaSave.
You can win a pair of tickets for the 2023 Tim Hortons Briar in London or the 2023 BKT Tires and OK Tire Men's Worlds in Ottawa, plus $500. Or maybe equip your team with a set of 4 of Asham's new Ultra Force brushes. And at the same time, support the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame and Museum and Curl Manitoba's Curling for Life Endowment Fund. Raffle tickets are available now. 1 for $5, 4 for $10, 10 for $20. Buy online at fundingchange.ca/Curl Manitoba or scan the QR code on your screen right now.
You can get your tickets now for the Progressive 50-50 in support of the Neepawa Curling Club and the Yellowhead Center by scanning the QR code on your screen now. The final draw will be February 12th at 3:45. Tickets are 1 for $3, 2 for $5, 5 for $10, or 12 for $20.
At McMunn & Yates, we've always believed that good neighbors make for better communities. McMunn & Yates has everything you need for your next project, right at your fingertips. And McMunnandYates.com will always be there, ready to help.
Well, back at the Neepawa Arena, you can see our game score 6-2. Stewart over Dunbar. A 1, a 2, and a 1 in the opening ends. The 2 and the 1 on misses, draw tap misses by Cale Dunbar. Stewart misses an open, not an open, a pick hit attempt to give up a draw for 2 to be 4-2, but on the last shot of the 5th end, Jeff Stewart made just an absolute peach of a shot, and with any luck at all, we've got the replay of that, so can we have a look at it? Kelly?
Yeah, he's throwing a quiet out turn, just tap back. He's got to over curl the rock that he's hitting, and he's got to get by a guard, and he's got to push it by one of his own at the back. So it's a total weight shot, and sweepers just handle it perfectly.
Just an outstanding shot, a finesse shot for a 2, the kind of shot that in any bonspiel anywhere, Manitoba Canadian World Championship Grand Slam, that is a highlight reel shot.
That's a good one.
And the beauty of that shot, compared to many of the highlight reel shots we see the triple kills, we see the double runbacks, we see, and they're grand shots to watch.
Exactly.
You have to admire the angles and all the rest of it.
For sure, but that's just a great touch shot for that. That was a tough shot.
And it did give Stewart back his 4-point lead. He leads 6-2, playing here now in the 6th end. And my guess is Jeff Stewart will be quite content for this to be a pretty routine kind of end.
Yeah, like started off the same. Tremble put it in the top of the forefoot. They're coming down to it again, and eventually Cale's going to have to make a play on it somehow.
So I'm going to finish off the conversation about the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame with the 4 individuals who are being inducted. Ruth Wiebe, a woman who won 11 championships, I believe, significant, and over a curling career in which she played with 3 different skips across 30 years, which is also remarkable, and each time won 3 or 4 championships. So you know that she was that person who was a key to a championship.
To a championship team, that's right.
Another guy, Bob Flock, who was a police curler, knew early in his career he wasn't going to be able to do a lot of curling because a police career doesn't fit with a curling career. But he's being inducted as a builder. He started a program called the Police and Pals that for about 20 years brought young people together with police officers. And although I don't have a lot of background, I wasn't involved with it, I just know that's a good thing to have done.
Exactly, that's right. Yeah.
So. And then Dave Peterson, who was head official at many, including many of these events. He would have been head official at many events you played in.
Yes, he was. Yes, I know him quite well, and he did a lot of officiating at events that we were at.
And then the fourth is Doug Harrison, who you would have played against a fair bit.
Yes, played against Doug a lot. Pretty good friends with Doug, and just a great champion in his own right. He was fiery on the ice, but boy, after the game, he was a top-notch gentleman.
And just nothing wrong with that, as long as you can separate the two. He won his trip to the Brier, his British Consuls, in the Keystone Centre in Brandon. So appropriate that we include him in a Westman celebration.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So I'd mentioned earlier, Doug Harrison is one of 3 people who have played for this championship under each of the 4 sponsorships: the McDonald, the British Consuls McDonald Tobacco, the Labatt Tankard, the Safeway, and the Viterra, along with your buddy Peter Prokopowicz played in all. And this year, Mark Franklin joins the group. He played in the Consuls in the 70s. You didn't quite make it into all 4.
No, played in 3. Didn't play in the British Consuls. Played in it to get a spot, but we never won. So I was pretty young then, but no, that's quite a feat to play in 4, and it just shows you the love of the game that those guys had, and yeah, it's just
love of the game, and obviously competitive excellence over an extended period of time.
Oh, for sure.
And Mark still playing is very competitive at the Masters level, and his love of the game just is obvious every time he goes on the ice.
Oh, for sure. And Peter's still playing. He's playing in the seniors up in Dauphin.
And if he's listening, we can tell you Doug Harrison is somewhere where there are palm trees, because the picture he sent us for the Hall of Fame had one in the background.
I think it's called Palm Springs.
It is, absolutely. So game on here. A couple of red Stones guards removed and 3 yellows clustered in the center of the rings with nary a guard in sight.
Yeah, actually, Cale doesn't mind this situation. He's got some rocks to play with. He's just playing down to them, kind of moving them around, trying to get position in front of them.
Top 4, Oli. Chris. Whoa. Top 4. Whoa. Good shot.
That's a nice little rub and roll.
It was.
Okay, Kelly Robertson, you're the skip. What do you do now?
Well, I think Jeff's probably going to throw a little bit of heat at it and hit it on the high side there. And even if he gets rid of a couple of his own, he should be able to squirt that red one out. Right there, yeah. Because Jeff's really in a position he doesn't need a lot of rocks around for him, so elimination is what he's up to right now.
Yeah, these yellows are more a friend to Dunbar, as you said, than they are to.
Yeah.
So how many of these did you play in?
Those what?
These championships, men's championships.
22, I believe.
Not a bad number.
No.
What's the best you did?
We qualified for the Final 8 about 4 times. I think we qualified in Nipawin in 2002.
That would have been a pleasure.
That was. It was great.
You had a lot of folks here cheering for you.
Yeah, there was. Well, in 2002, there was the building was pretty well full. It was a really good time.
So interestingly, after the conversation, Eric Zammercut is not throwing that peel.
They talked about hitting out of the nose, but.
So they're going to come to that red stone, just across the face of it. Good shot, good result or bad result, Kelly?
I'm not sure. I'll tell you in a little while.
That's what we like in our color analyst.
Yeah.
I think it goes by.
I know Cale likes this situation because he needs some rocks
Try
around
this, if he can maybe just touch it.
to have a chance to get a multiple score here. So
Just like heavy draw? Yeah, like back line.
yeah, so he's just going to come down and maybe top his red and top that yellow and
sit here, eh?
get a little bit of backing at the back of the house.
So he, if this works perfectly, he's going to end up with a couple of rocks in the back of the 4-foot
That's
circle.
what he's hoping. That's what he's hoping for. Yeah.
So we'll see. It is the left-hander McGranahan with his first stone of the end. A little more than draw weight, a little bit of a tap.
Hard! Hard! Roll it hard! That's okay.
Well, he got them to the back of the 4-foot.
Yellow does lie 3. Both reds can disappear now, though, can they not?
Well, I don't think the top one does. It probably
jams on the yellow.
Jams on the yellow, probably.
That line's up there. Yeah, this just sits right here.
Yeah, that's what Stewart's thinking too.
You liked playing with rocks in play, didn't you?
Try nose.
Yeah, to a point.
Think so.
Would you have enjoyed the game the way it is now, like that first end in the Verdon game, 9 rocks in the 4-foot circle?
Well, we have played like that before, and
normal.
You know, when you've got ice that's moving like this, you can make shots on it. Like there's usually a draw path in as long as you leave yourself not jammed up with a corner guard on that side. So, 9 rocks is a little excessive. But,
Zamercut with an in-turn hit. Trying to move a red, maybe 2. He moves 1.
Yeah, so now he moved them around some more, but Cale still doesn't mind this situation. He's got something to work with.
Lots of protection from behind.
Yeah.
At the below the tee line.
Hard line. Line's close. Hard line. Yep. Hard line. Hard. Hard for weight.
Maybe just a little shy on weight here.
Hard. Gotta go hard.
Well, he is going to come face to face on that Yellowstone, tap it a bit.
Well, Jeff is thinking straight offense here. He's
there's not a lot he can do with the red rock of the 8-foot.
That's right, exactly. Yeah.
So he knows that that's Dunbar's shot. Is the tap on that red, but still he can't do anything with it. He could play the big weight pick on it, but that leaves Dunbar the draw either side to the back.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. So, yeah, if he can be on the center line, on the middle of the 4-foot, it'd be pretty good.
Well, he's going to give it a try. Is Jeff Stewart, the Gladstone skip.
Just outside the 12-foot ring for ice.
Draws underway. This is Jeff Stewart, first stone of this 6th end.
Yep. Hard. Hard.
Starting to really cut now. Well, it blocked off that side for Cale Dunbar, so I think Cale's just going to probably top that red rock up, I would imagine.
Just outside draw to the button, I think, eh?
Yeah. Because I got to throw like back 4 probably, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, so he's talking back 4 weight just to tap that red.
So an angle push on the red to the top of the forefoot, bite the button.
Yeah.
There's lots of space between the yellows at the back if Stewart is called upon to run one through.
True, yes.
Well, maybe not lots of space, but certainly there are gaps that a rock can travel through. As my partner a week ago at the Scotties said, in every game there are shots that must be made, and this is a shot that must be made.
It has to be made, yes, so he's in big trouble.
Hard! Keep her going, keep her going.
He's going to come up short. Well short.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not going to have much of a shot left with his last one, I don't think.
So Stewart looked for a moment at, do we play a guard outside that red guard that you can just see at the top of the screen to block off that tap?
Yeah. But I'd rather leave a hole there, wouldn't you?
I think so, yeah.
But I think he's going offense, is he not?
Well, he's going to tap that up because I think what he's thinking is that Cale does have an in-off the far yellow one that
just on the tee line.
Just on the tee line there that he could get across to the button.
Yep.
Well, we'll see. It is Jeff Stewart's last shot. Cale Dunbar's final stone of the end yet to come.
Oh, Jeff is actually playing...
he's playing the guard we talked about
the turn,
from the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering him wanting to disturb that other yellow. That's actually a pretty good shot. So that just leaves that hit and roll in.
He'd have been happier with kind of about 4 inches wider.
Yeah, exactly.
Just covering the end of the McMunn & Yates logo rather than being it. So we'll see.
Yeah, this shot still has to be made. It's not easy.
So now it's a question of where they are on that curl path. They're definitely outside the path for the curl to the forefoot, and they have to be. The question is if it will curl enough. If they've assessed it properly. Cale Dunbar, final stone of the end, facing 3 Jeff Stewart stones. Well past the guard. Does take one. Leaves a steal of 2, so Jeff Stewart goes ahead by a score of 8-2 after 6 completed ends. We'll be back with end number 7 in a moment. Today's sponsor, PharmaSave. Canada's community pharmacy is proud to support Canada's community game.
At McMunn & Yates, we've always believed that good neighbors make for better communities. McMunn & Yates has everything you need for your next project, right at your fingertips. And McMunnandYates.com will always be there, ready to help.
You can support your curling club or the curling club in your community by buying tickets now in Curl Manitoba's online 50-50. After you win the big prize in the March 31st draw, 100% of the proceeds will be dispersed to the curling clubs of Manitoba for their use as needed. All you have to do is be sure to click the button to assign your ticket purchase to the curling club you wish to support. To purchase your Curling Club's 50/50 tickets, go online to fundingchange.ca/curlmanitoba or scan the QR code on your screen now.
Back at center ice of the Neepawa Yellowhead Center, Jeff Stewart and his team have scored 3 deuces, 2 of them steals. It is 8-2 for Stewart of Gladstone over Cale Dunbar of Brandon. The Brandon team had a little chat. They said, well, we're definitely in trouble here, but if we can score a 3, then we'll soldier on. So tough to set out trying to score a 3, isn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, it is. 8-2 is a fairly wide margin. It has happened that teams have come back, but there has to be a lot of misses on the other side in order to do that.
And case in point, the game right beside where there was a 5-0 lead and a 5 scored. So, but it doesn't happen often.
It doesn't. No.
Looking over to sheet E, Tanner Lott actually has just scored a 4 to take an 8-4 lead over David Hamlin.
So Cale Dunbar, he's calling for another corner guard here on the other side. And he's got a couple of rocks in the center to work with. So.
But you are counting on a miss somewhere, aren't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Or maybe hoping for is a better word than counting on. But he's got the 2 corners that he wants.
Want to be in? I think right on the center line.
Jeff Stewart, I think, really does favor being tighter to the rings than having the long one.
Oh, for sure. Yep. Well, this one looks pretty cheery coming down.
Now, for the second time, we see
rock goes back.
A rock going back.
Good enough. Good enough. Get around her.
I think that's close.
Just come around, I think. Come around. Okay.
Cale's he thought about topping that rock back, but now he's just going to use his corner guard because that's why he put it there. So.
T-line. Ice.
Kyle Sambrook throwing an in-turn draw. He wants to come top 8-foot T-line behind the corner.
Back 8.
Assist on its own.
Sweepers are calling back 8.
Okay.
But it will slide right out of the rings.
Yeah, it's not really what you want when you're down and you're trying to get points and you got your guards up and.
That's a maybe, but you just want to peel this one here.
So Austin Mustard on an outturn peel.
Yep. Right up.
Leaves a couple over there, although now one of them is his own if he wants to run it through at some point.
Line's good.
Kyle Sambrook looks like he's got better weight on this one.
He's got Chris Campbell and
Line's good.
Shane
Yep,
McGranahan working the sweep. He will get by the guard.
Hard.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Fully in the 12-foot, well buried. Well, perhaps not.
Actually,
He
maybe open, maybe come out the open side.
appears to have done. In fact, wide open.
Yeah.
And if I appear to be fascinated by the game next door, it's because I am, folks. The team that gave up the 5, the young Jace Freeman team, scored a single on the 6th. With skip rocks to come, they now lie 3 in the 4-foot and are about to throw their 4th one in the 4-foot. So we haven't been watching enough to know exactly what's going on, but we know they're having a lot of fun.
They haven't had a lot of hits.
Now there's about as bad a break as you can get with you trying to go through a port that large. You hit both sides of it and raise a red
And you
rock.
raise them in, yes.
And Cale likes them so much, he's going to put a guard on them.
I think this goes, so I think we got to guard it. Like that? Yeah.
Seems like a lot.
Okay.
Out turn for the left-hander. Needs to cross center, come to about the corner of the McMunnon-Yates sign.
Easy. Line's okay, right here. Yep, Sammy. Yep, Sammy. That's okay.
Gotta go.
Okay, you're right. Or what?
Maybe a little deeper than what they wanted. Jeff will be taking a whack at those.
As he showed you, his objective is to run it across the face and get rid of one red and the guard.
The guard, both, and him roll off. And
It's Eric Zamercut.
no, a little too thin.
Here.
I like control, I think.
Okay.
So just talked about a control weight shot here, making a play on the back one.
Why that one, Kelly?
Yep. Whoa.
Close.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. Hard!
Whoa.
He will make the nose.
Attaboy.
I guess the roll behind is why.
What's that?
I say, I guess the roll behind is why you play that shot.
Do we need half? Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Well, that's like Cass almost missing this.
Okay.
Cass almost bumps this back there.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So I think he's playing hit on this one, hit a half a rock. Probably he's going to go into his own. Hopefully just push it over into the 8-foot. But with the speed that he's probably going to be throwing, he might lose that rock.
Which is not a bad result
Not a
with
bad
a
result.
6-point lead.
No, that's right.
The 2 reds are the issue.
Like, you got to do something with them, yes.
So he throws the in-turn hit with a fair bit of pace, is the modern terminology.
Nice.
Nearly guards his own.
That's a pretty good shot.
I kind of moved that a little bit, but I moved it back.
That's all right. I don't think it'll matter.
Yeah, they kind of touched the red rock that's out of play there, but Cale wasn't too worried about it, so they just left it where it was.
Yeah, I did jammed it, yeah.
Anyways, let's make a good freeze. Yep.
Here's.
Right in the nose.
Do you have it here, Cal?
Is it fudging a bit? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Just a little bit tough.
Line's tight.
Dunbar's first
Hard
stone
line.
of the end.
Line's good.
He's looking for a draw
Yeah,
freeze.
line's tight. Hard line, hard, no switch. Sammy, tight. Hard, hard as you can.
Well, it over-curled a little bit, but just got to be mindful of it. So I think he's just going to corner freeze the red rock.
Lots of room.
Jeff Stewart's final stone here.
Tons of room.
Seventh end. Stewart lies one. Second shot belonging to Cale Dunbar. Looking for freeze top or draw top 4 foot, maybe corner frozen on the red.
Looks like he's getting
Dunbar
good.
stone.
Maybe he could have been sweeping that just a little bit, but
keep it a little straighter.
Yeah.
Hard to get those out of the 8 foot, I think.
Is there a shot for any
I
more
don't know.
than one?
They're just trying to talk to how to bring that back red one into play. To get 3, but I don't think it was possible.
Like the amount you have to hit this yellow to even make contact with this red to bump both of them out.
It's not going very far.
Yeah, it's going to lose
Like,
a
it's gotta
lot
get
of
past it.
momentum to do that.
Okay. I'm
I
just
think
thinking
he's gotta
one's
draw
not
the
going to do
button
us
is
a whole
what
lot
he's
of
got.
good.
8-3 after 7.
And he's
play it.
wondering if he
Well, I
can
don't
draw
know,
to
like, I
the
just-
button, get a little tap
don't know
on
if
the
it's even
yellow,
there.
and push it 4 to 6
It's
inches
possible
for
too.
the second point.
Yeah.
Toss it if you want.
But he's really looking.
He's trying to bring that third one into play.
Trying to figure it out.
There, I think, right?
Yep. I don't know.
It's probably
I think we're probably shaking to get one, right?
Right.
So I think we'll
Try it. I guess if I
So
if
they're
I miss it
thinking
here,
one's no good to
still
them.
one probably, maybe.
They need a multiple score, which at this point in the game they almost do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the question in my mind is 2 enough? Because in my mind there is that fairly slim chance of a 2 by playing the draw to
I
the
think
yellow
so.
on
Like,
the button
the draw for 1
and
doesn't
giving
do us
that little tap.
Yeah.
But they may not see that as a
Almost pretty well.
possibility, and that they may see it only as a draw for 1.
For 1, but there is a possible 2, but that's a tough shot.
I'm just not sure how all 3 yellows leave the rings here. We'll see in a moment because
Curl.
Curl.
Okay.
Two yellows go on the scoreboard, so Jeff Stewart now gets his 4th 2-pointer in the 7 ends of play. It is a final formal score of 10-2 for Jeff Stewart over Cale Dunbar as the teams shake hands and concede a final 10-2 score. Kelly Robertson, thank you so much for joining me. You'll join me again tomorrow afternoon?
Well, thank you, Resby, and yes, I will.
Good. Final thoughts on this game and just what you've seen here today.
Well, this game started out, the way you would think and went up, but Jeff Stewart's team just outplayed Cale's team today. I thought Jeff Tremble had a really strong game, put his rocks in the right spot, and and was deserving of the win.
And it was a 10-2 win for Stewart and his Gladstone team over Dunbar. Dunbar is eliminated from the double knockout competition, and the winner goes on now to a later game where they will play the winner of a game to be played on the next draw, a game between J.T. Ryan of Assiniboine Memorial, Kelly Marnock of Carberry. Please join us later for that 7:30 draw here from Neepawa, the 2023 Viterra Championship. I'm Resby Coots for Kelly Robertson. Thanks for being with us. Today's sponsor, Sunrise Credit Union. Building a brighter future together.
RME, proud sponsor of Curl Manitoba and the Scotties Women's Provincials. With 10 locations in Manitoba, RME is your preferred Case IH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
Where can you find handmade delicious pizza, classic burgers, scrumptious salads, and the finest Manitoba-sourced pressure-cooked fried chicken? From small towns to big cities, with 38 locations, Chicken Chef is comfort food you can count on. We're your made-in-Manitoba chicken choice, and pizza choice, and salad choice, and so much more. Chicken Chef, bring your appetite. We'll take care of the rest.
Thank you for joining us for this Manitoba Championship draw, brought to you by Seagram's VO. Masterfully blended, distinctly Canadian. You can win a pair of tickets for the 2023 Tim Hortons Brier in London or the 2023 BKT Tires and OK Tire Men's Worlds in Ottawa, plus $500. Or maybe equip your team with a set of 4 of Asham's new Ultra Force brushes. And at the same time, support the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame and Museum and Curl Manitoba's Curling for Life Endowment Fund. Raffle tickets are available now. 1 for $5, 4 for $10, 10 for $20. Buy online at fundingchange.ca/Curl Manitoba or scan the QR code on your screen right now.
Curling in the small town part of Manitoba is really big in the winter. It's something for the community to do, and it really brings the community together. We can hold annual events like our Bonspiels and our weekly nights. It's really something to do for everyone in the community, and can do it from any age.
We hope you're enjoying this Manitoba Championship Curling, brought to you by Seagram's 83, Manitoba's favorite Canadian whiskey.
Where can you find handmade delicious pizza, classic burgers, scrumptious salads, and the finest Manitoba-sourced pressure-cooked fried chicken? From small towns to big cities, with 38 locations, Chicken Chef is comfort food you can count on. We're your made-in-Manitoba chicken choice, and pizza choice, and salad choice, and so much more. Chicken Chef, bring your appetite. We'll take care of the rest.
Eat. Meet.
Stay.
Canad Inn's destination centers are your home for hospitality, with 10 locations in Manitoba and 1 in North Dakota, featuring the finest in accommodations, food and beverage, entertainment, banquet and conference facilities, and so much more. For the best service and best value, your only stop is Canad Inns. Call today at 1-888-33-CANAD or visit us right now at canadinns.com.
Today's sponsor, Sunrise Credit Union. Building a brighter future together.
RME, proud sponsor of Curl Manitoba and the Scotties Women's Provincials. With 10 locations in Manitoba, RME is your preferred Case IH equipment dealer. RME, right by you.
You work hard to keep it all together. And when you need a little help, we're there. At PharmaSave, we see you.
Live well with PharmaSave.
You can support your curling club or the curling club in your community by buying tickets now in Curl Manitoba's online 50/50. After you win the big prize in the March 31st draw, 100% of the proceeds will be dispersed to the curling clubs of Manitoba for their use as needed. All you have to do is be sure to click the button to assign your ticket purchase to the curling club you wish to support. To purchase your curling club's 50/50 tickets, go online to fundingchange.ca/Curl Manitoba or scan the QR code on your screen now.
You can get your tickets now for the Progressive 50/50 in support of the Neepawa Curling Club and the Yellowhead Center by scanning the QR code on your screen now. The final draw will be February 12th at 3:45. Tickets are 1 for $3, 2 for $5, 5 for $10, or 12 for $20.
Curling in the small town part of Manitoba is really big in the winter. It's something for the community to do, and it really brings the community together. We can hold annual events like our bonspiels and our weekly nights. It's really something to do for everyone in the community. You can do it from any age.
You can win a pair of tickets for the 2023 Tim Hortons Brier in London or the 2023 BKT Tires and OK Tire Men's Worlds in Ottawa, plus $500. Or maybe equip your team with a set of 4 of Asham's new Ultra Force brushes. And at the same time, support the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame and Museum and Curl Manitoba's Curling for Life Endowment Fund. Raffle tickets are available now, 1 for $5, 4 for $10, 10 for $20. Buy online at fundingchange.ca/Curl Manitoba or scan the QR code on your screen right now.